Yo, peace, it's your boy AdeKwit representing that There It Is Entertainment. I got something else I gotta talk to you guys about. But before we get into that, what I need you to do, hit that subscribe button. I'll get back to you guys in a second. Man masturbates his profoundly disabled son. Let's talk about it. So I was scrolling through social media like I normally do, and there was an article that caught my attention. Man who masturbates his profoundly disabled son. At first, I was thinking, what the fuck are we doing? And then I was like, wait, let me read the article. Mohamad is making headlines with his controversial blog post regarding his severely disabled son. Mohamad has openly stated he has chosen to masturbate his son as a treatment method. Mohamad's son, Mustafa, suffers from PIMD, or profound intellectual multiple disabilities. He has severe disabilities that have left him unable to communicate or voluntarily move any of his muscles. He has an estimated IQ well below 20 and is basically bedridden if it weren't for his father's care. Okay, now that we read some of the information from the article, now we have a little bit more context about what's going on. Now we understand that his son suffers from PIMD, and now we know that the father is using masturbation as a form of treatment for his son's day-to-day care. So let's see if there's any more information that we can have before we cast judgment on Mohamad Faisal. Mustafa's story. Mustafa, who is now 30 years old, has been living with severe disabilities since birth. He has been diagnosed with cerebral palsy at a young age that has been completely debilitating. Mohamad explains that from around the time Mustafa was 17, he noticed his son would get erections during bath time and through regular therapeutic massages. It triggered Mohamad to start researching on sexual functions and disabilities. And now that we have more information, we know that Mohamad's son, Mustafa, was born with cerebral palsy, which means he can't move his body on his own. So he needs day-to-day care to do day-to-day things like take a shower, put on clothes, eat, and all the things that everyone else is able to do on their own. Mohamad said he noticed around the age of 17 when he would give Mustafa a bath that he would get erections, which is pretty normal for a child at that age going through puberty. Just like the rest of us, you know, we had erections, we went through puberty, growing hairs and all that shit. So it's really not that peculiar that a person with a disability will go through the same functions that every other teenager through human history has gone through while growing up. The story goes on to say before Mohamad decided to use masturbation as a therapy to take care of his son, he looked into the research, but it was pretty much hush-hush. There wasn't really much about it as far as how to deal with his son's erections and his son's sexuality. He also talks about how he felt very insecure about talking about masturbating his son because we live in a society where masturbation in general, even for people without disabilities, is a very taboo thing to even talk about. So just imagine if you add on his son with a disability and masturbation, people will lose their shit because people are going to people and not be understanding. Also, it's important to note that before he decided to take matters in his own hands, no pun intended, he looked into his insurance to see if he could get a sex therapy worker to help him out, but his insurance could not cover it for him. Also, he tried to look into sex workers, but prostitution is illegal in South Africa, so I'm pretty sure it was either go to jail or not go to jail, and he decided to not go to jail because his son probably could have went to jail also if they got caught, you know, with illegal prostitutes. I'm not really sure what the stipulations of prostitution is in South Africa, but I'm just using what I understand from my American ideas of what prostitution is here when it's illegal. So I'm pretty sure they're not too far from what they are in Africa like they are here. So, I mean, you have to take that into account too. Because I know a lot of people say, well, then just hire a prostitute. I'm pretty sure if he could, he would, but he can't. So he didn't. Also, as a parent, would you want your child to be having sex with prostitutes? Not saying that prostitution is a bad thing, and I do believe it's something that needs to be legalized, but that's for another subject. Just because this person is able to have sex, it doesn't mean that they're equipped to deal with a person with a disability. Just saying. I mean, you need professionals for stuff like that, I assume. After extensive research and discussions with medical personnel, Mohamad decided on a course of action for his son. I thought the only way forward was to treat my son equally to other disabled persons and apply the professional advice given to other profoundly disabled persons, namely therapeutic masturbation, to relieve and gratify my son's sex expression, he stated. And I can get that. What makes us think that people who are disabled don't have sexual desires like the rest of us? I think it's kind of obtuse for us to think that they wouldn't have the same desires as we do. I mean, they are people just like us. And after more lengthy research and digging, he came to the realization that he was going to have to do it himself if he was going to achieve his son having therapeutic masturbation, which I believe isn't an easy decision for a parent to make. It's not like he just jumped out the window and said, hey, I'm going to jerk off my disabled son. Muhammad even explains that giving his son a massage is just a natural extension of how he takes care of his son on a day-to-day basis. For instance, putting on his clothes, changing his diaper, feeding him. It's just something that he does to take care of his child. Muhammad goes on to recount the experience that he had with his son when he first applied therapeutic masturbation on him. He says he remembers how his son expressed a sense of relief, how his son was smiling and moaning with gratification. Muhammad also stated that he saw the change in his son's behavior as far as calmness after he applied therapeutic masturbation. He says that his son showed contentment and happiness all around, which probably means it was probably a little bit easier to take care of his son too. In closing, Muhammad says he understands the controversy behind the therapy procedures, but hopes his blog will bring light to a little discussed topic. I wish to appeal to parents and caregivers to consider that such care and nurture includes sexual care, and this begins by recognizing that all persons with disabilities are sexual human beings. Muhammad states in closing. And I know, sexuality is a very difficult conversation to have, especially in today's society, and it's also very controversial. But I think we do need to have these discussions to have a better understanding and grasp about how to deal with these issues. So before we cast judgments on a headline, make sure you read the article before you come to a conclusion. Also, you guys let me know what you think about Muhammad and his son, Mustafa. Do you think the dad is wrong? Do you think he's a perv? Do you think that he's doing the right thing by helping his son? I really want to know what you guys think, because initially I was thrown. I was like, what the fuck are we doing? But then I read the article and I had a bit more understanding about it. I mean, it still makes me a little bit uncomfortable, because if I was in that position, I'm not sure if I will be able to masturbate my own child or help them sexually, because I live in America and I have access to those things if I needed to provide it for my son or daughter. So yeah, like I said, you guys leave your comments. Let me know if you liked the video, if you didn't, if you felt it was disgusting, whatever. It doesn't really matter. I just want to engage with you guys and know what your thoughts are. Again, it's your boy AdeKwit representing that There It Is Entertainment. Peace. Holla. There it is.